Today we are going to be reviewing WWE 2K Battlegrounds. Now, just like Rom, WWE 2K Battlegrounds has been dominating my life for the last week, and it is the latest game to come out of 2K Games, the latest WWE game, and our replacement this year for a typical WWE simulation title. We've become used to games such as WWE 2K18, 19, 20, but after the shitstorm that was WWE 2K20, the company have decided to go in a different direction this year, not releasing WWE 2K21 and instead turning the focus to this brand new title, this brand new franchise, WWE 2K Battlegrounds, which is an arcade game, an arcade fighting game, more than it is a simulation wrestling game where you play as miniature, muscly, beefy WWE characters. They go against each other in the ring, and yeah, you just fight until one of you win. Very fast-paced, very high octane type of action, and just, in my opinion, a lot of fun, in all honesty. So we're going to be talking about this game today. We've broken it down into a couple of topics that we're going to go through one by one here. We're going to be talking about this game's gameplay. We're going to be talking about the campaign mode. We're going to be talking about the creation suite features in this game. We're going to be talking about the online modes and King of the Battleground. We're going to talk about the unlockables and microtransactions and how we feel about that whole aspect of the game. We're going to talk about how we feel about this game compared to WWE All-Stars. We're going to talk about how long we feel this game might last, how long we're going to be playing this game for, and then, of course, at the end, we're going to give you some final thoughts and review on this game. But you're going to get a good opinion of what we think about this game throughout the podcast. So, let's jump straight into it. Rom, what do you think about this game's gameplay?
This kind of gameplay, listen, I'm going to be frank. It's the kind of game that I am not afraid to have in front of me when I invite my friends over. And that's not a dig at 2K19, because that's a good game in itself. But I'm talking about for the average folk. The average folk is not into this simulation. And that's the bottom line. You know, when you get a kid who is brand new to wrestling, for example, or brand new to any sort of sports, he wants to have fun. And I got to tell you, when you get your hands on this game, you sit on your couch, you get your mates on, you will have an endless amount of time just laughing and enjoying the hell of it. And I'm not talking about just from a, not graphic standpoint, because they look like freaking bottleheads or whatever you want to call them, but because that's the hilarious part of it. But I'm talking about just ridiculous other aspects. Like you can feed the other guy to a freaking alligator. They jump. Like, it's pretty much a more ridiculous version of All-Stars, and I love that game. So, yes, is the gameplay better? For me, personally, as a guy who's sick and tired of all these simulation titles, yes. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, yes, fantastic.
You bring up a really good point about you're not afraid to have this game on when people come over, when you got company around. And it is that type of game. The amount of times that somebody has come around my house or my partner or just anybody will ask to play the normal WWE games, thinking, oh, it's going to be a really fun fighting game with the wrestlers. And while I understand what it is, while I understand how to play it, and while I can have fun with it, most outsiders coming into that game are just like, this is slow, this is a bit clunky in some areas, this is not for most casual people. But WWE 2K Battlegrounds is just a completely different picture altogether. Anybody can pick this game up. Anybody can have fun with this game. The matches last anywhere between sort of 3 to 6 minutes, so it's not a huge time investment like the normal 2K sim titles can feel like. So yeah, great point there. It is just a real universal game that anybody's going to be able to pick up and just run with. It's really easy to pick up, really easy to learn all the controls, and pretty easy to get onto that path of mastering the game. It's not a difficult game to master. And I think that's a good thing in the way, because we're going to get into the online modes in a little bit, but when you have two really good players going at it in this game, it does look and it does feel like a completely different experience compared to two more novice players going at it. Constant sort of reversals, constant parrying of the shots, and so on and so forth. And it looks like a real competitive experience, and you get to see that a little bit more because of how easy the game is to master, and I just think it creates a more even playing field across the board. So gameplay is awesome. It does lack in a couple of areas. I know a lot of people's main problem with this game when it comes to sort of the gameplay aspect of it is the limited amount of moves that are in the game. Now, for those of you who don't know, the way this game works is there are 5 classes for each of the wrestlers. There are high flyers, technical, brawler, powerhouse, and all-rounder. 5 different classes. And when it comes to these classes, each one has a move set, and then that move set is applied to everybody who is part of that class. And then some of those people have additional special moves, such as The Rock, who has the People's Punch as a regular move. Triple H has a Spine Buster, a knee drop, a suplex that are all unique to him. So various different characters all have moves that are unique to them, but not an awful lot. I would say maybe 10, 15 characters in the game currently have moves that are unique to them. So most of the characters in the game, if you're going to play as a high flyer and I'm going to play as a high flyer, we're going to have identical movesets. I think that is the case when it comes to like Rey Mysterio versus Apollo Crews, for example. If you play that match, both characters are going to have additional movesets. So you are going to see a lot of moves repeated over and over again. But my personal opinion, the way this game plays and the fast nature of it, there's enough variation in the animations, and then the animations themselves are just so sort of wild and over the top that I don't mind seeing them a few times during a match. And it's just not that big a deal to me because of the way that the game actually plays. Have you got any conflicting opinions on that?
You pointed out, like, is it repetitive? Yes, but if the repetitiveness is fun, who cares? You know, that's the way I see things. Like, you know, that's why people want to buy these fun games here and there, not because they want to critique every single aspect of it. It's because whatever they do, whatever they play in that moment, if they see something amazing, they're gonna enjoy it. It doesn't matter if the other guy is doing it as well. Is it fun to watch? Yes. Is it fun to execute? Yes. So, you know, can it be improved? Yes. But I don't see the issue. If I have fun playing it, what's the problem?
Yeah, in terms of changes that I would make to the gameplay, I'm happy for the most part with everybody having the same moveset. I think that's fine. I think that's a good base to work with. I would have liked to have seen more people have unique moves to them. If every character in the game had at least one move that was unique to them, that would have been great. That would have been, I think, really good. And the other thing I would have liked to see change is just a bit more tweaking to the reversal system. There seems like there is a lot of moments and a lot of things that you can take advantage in this game that are unblockable. And it can lead to some frustration when you feel like in a certain moment you should have been able to block this, you should have been able to get out of this predicament, but the game is just like, nope, you have to take this move, there's no option to reverse it. But it's like, well, last time I got hit by that move I could reverse it. It's like, why can't I do it this time? And it doesn't seem clear that there's anything in particular that's happened to lead this to happen, other than it just seems to be a glitch or that it's just not working the way it's supposed to be. And then in a similar way to All Stars, more mid reversals, just more opportunity for reversing and parrying and things like that as a whole, I think would just ultimately add to the experience of this game. Is there anything you would switch up? Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed that little clip there from the Bust and Bash podcast. If you liked it and you want to check out the full WWE 2K Battlegrounds review, you can find the link to that at the top of the description. Thanks guys.